Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with cycle 2, week 22. So we will jump into geography. So for geography, we are still on the world side and we're going to be over though in Australia. So obviously you should do everything bluey themed this week since we're going to be in Australia. But we have Australia and then Great Barrier Reef, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and Indonesia. So Indonesia is kind of like a big section there. It's not one specific location because there's a bunch of islands. And then Papua New Guinea is at the end of one of the islands. And then New Zealand's obviously over a little bit, Australia. And then the Great Barrier Reef is a geographic location. So anyway, I will just be going over those. Australia is obviously a really big one, so I'll probably start there and then talk about the Great Barrier Reef kind of curving around the top edge there. And then New Zealand's kind of over down towards the south. And then we've got Papua New Guinea on top connected to Indonesia. So I'll just go over those. It's a slightly easier this week, I guess, because they're not all pink, so that's very helpful. And they're kind of, except for Papua New Guinea being attached to Indonesia they're all kind of separate and fairly easy to find. And then you might remind them that Guam is like right up above Papua New Guinea, straight up there. We've got the Philippines. You can go over all those locations again as we're kind of building up from New Zealand up through there. Indonesia goes up, and then kind of Thailand and Cambodia and all of that's right there. So we'll go over all of those again to review. So nothing super special. I tend to not do anything really crazy for geography because really the point is to find the locations on the map, be able to say them and point them out on the map. So I try not to cloud it up with too much other stuff. For the little ones, you can bring in lots of different little objects to use on there. And I cannot believe that it just dawned on me because I've talked about using the toothpicks before. And recently I went to a restaurant and they had the little sword toothpicks through there. And we're in medieval cycle. Like, why have I not gotten the sword toothpicks to use for locating things? Probably because I have the older class. But if you have the younger class and you want to like spice it up the last few weeks here, you can get the sword toothpicks and those can be your pointers for geography for the last 2 weeks. So anyway, moving on to Latin. So Latin, we have our last week of pluperfect tense. Again, this is the week that it's like not, the device for remembering is not the strongest one, we'll say. Pluperfect, blue perfect sky, the air is so clear. Like, I don't love it. I just remember this one's the weird one and I just go with that. I also saw like PU, for PU, stinky socks, air 'em out. That's another way. If you come up with a better way, please let me know because I would love something that doesn't sound so weird. But this is the London Bridge tune. London Bridge, what's the word, that remix kind of, like, it's not exactly London Bridge, but it's close enough that that's what it is. So again, 4th week through, we'll probably just chant through it really fast, not do anything terribly special in my class. If your class is really into Latin and would like to do something special, you might try hiding something around in the room and singing it and getting louder as they get closer to the object and then softer if they get farther away. So for example, if I had something over like here in my room and the kid or kids, however you want to play it, was walking around, so I'd go, Aramis errant, Aramis ertis errant. And as they got closer, I would sing louder. And if they moved away, first conjugation, because they're moving farther away. So you just get louder as they get closer to something. So that might be a fun thing to try out with your younger class now that hopefully they all can sing it really well at this point. For math, we have the commutative law. So using the apple and banana from last week, I will stick these up on the board and I will have A plus B on one side and we'll have B plus A on the other side. So it doesn't matter if you eat your apple first, then your banana, or your banana first, then your apple, you still ate an apple and a banana. This doesn't quite translate the same way for multiplication because you can't really eat an apple banana times, but just to help them get the A plus B plus A part, the switching that they're switching, I think is helpful. You could also write the letters big up on here just to kind of make them see the letters a little bit more in the equation. I feel like the commutative law is pretty easy. Another way to do it would be to have a printed like little car or even just regular car. I'll use this that I had out from the other video. So you could say if you drive from A to B, it's the same distance as driving B to A. And if you drive this distance like 5 times, it's the same as driving this distance 5 times. You could do it that way too, because it's the commutative law, meaning that you can move them and it doesn't change the equation. So you bring in a card for the commuting part of it might be helpful. I like my apple and banana though. So I'll probably stick with those. Another idea is to have half the kids be A and half the kids be B. And when you say A, they have to stand up. When you say B, they have to stand up. And then when you say A again, they sit down. And when you say B again, they sit down. So that's another way if you need to get a little bit of movement in there. For English this week, we have our coordinating conjunctions. So I would take a moment and refresh what is a conjunction. A conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses. Sorry, my mind just blinked on the first one there. Words, phrases, or clauses. So just remind them what a conjunction is. So my kids, again, are essentials, so they know their fanboys really well. But I was going through his and chanting them, and I did the kind of like, I don't know, but I've been told. So I had for and nor, but or yet so, and then they'll repeat for and nor, but or yet so, for and nor, but or yet so, for and nor, but or yet so. And then we'll say coordinating, and they'll say conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions. So I thought that would be kind of fun to do. And if you have younger kids or you have space, you could march around the room. So for and nor, but or yet so, and they will say it after you and just repeat it. So you might do it a few times before you're moving so they can see them up on the board if they need to see them a little bit more. And then you can start marching around the room and just do it like that. So I thought that would be a fun way to make coordinating conjunctions fun for this week. For science, I'm going to do hand motions. So we have reflection. So I'm going to hold my hands right across from each other. They're reflecting each other. So reflections. Then refraction, I'm going to bring my arm in, and then the light's going to kind of bounce off. So it comes up and it bounces off. It refracts. Okay. Then we have spectrum. So we're going to kind of go like this, like it's a whole spectrum of light. And then wave. It's not really, it's more like this. You could do this, but I just think this is fun. Wave. And then particles. We're just going to kind of go like this. So the particles, I think of particles in the air. I know that's not exactly what it is for light, but that helps us remember the word. So reflection, they're reflecting itself. My hands are. My refraction, the light's coming in, it's bouncing off at a different angle. And then we have spectrum, the whole spectrum, wave, and then particle. So that's what we'll do for science. For history, this is the most dramatic history song. I love it. One of my students, actually, we at the end, our end of year ceremony, everybody picks a piece or 2 pieces of memory work as a class, and we present it as a class. And like many weeks ago, he was like, I want to do week 22. Can you listen to it? And I was like, yes. And I did. And I was like, I see why you want to do this. It's very like, there's big drums and it's super dramatic. So I think what I will do is I will take turns. I'm not gonna like shoot at them. I'm just gonna point as we go around, and the communist dictators fall, and I'll let them each just kind of fall. They can fall however they want. They'll be very dramatic about it. But I will just go around. So as we just say the song, and I'll point and let them fall, and then we'll get up and do that a few times and listen to the music, because again, it's super dramatic music. It's a very fun one. Not quite like in the 1980s, but it's fun in a more like really dramatic way. All right, I think we're to timeline. So for timeline, we're going to start with North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Are you done with your apple?
No, it's yucky.
It's not yucky. You just need to eat it on this side now.
No.
Well, yeah, you ate all the way to the core. You just need to eat this side now. There, like that. Got it? That was a big bite. Huh. There you go, see? Still good. You just gotta eat it that way. Can you hold it that way? There you go. Good job. All right, so we're gonna do North Atlantic Treaty Organization. We're just gonna sign NATO. So we're gonna have 2 fingers over our thumbs. We have N-A-T-O. So 2 fingers over our thumb. A, thumb outside our closed fist. 1 finger over our thumb for T, and then an O. So, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And we're gonna make a K for Korean War, so it's like a peace sign, except your thumb is touching your middle finger. That makes our K. So the Korean War, we've done this a lot, this for our timeline. And then Martin Luther King Jr., we're gonna sign MLK. So we're gonna put 3 fingers over our thumb for our M. You can see it kind of makes an M. Martin Luther, K again, King. We're not gonna do a J for Junior, so just MLK. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement. So I think we did this for the Bill of Rights is what we did this for. So it's a flat left hand. Your right hand's gonna kind of, almost like you're chopping it, and then you're gonna flick it upward, I guess, like this. So Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement. And then we have Jim and Elizabeth Elliott. So we're gonna make an E, which looks like this. So for the Elliott. So Jim and Elizabeth Elliott, missionaries. We're gonna turn that into an M, which is pretty easy. So you've got an E and then just comes over your thumb. And we're gonna rub that over our heart because missionaries have a heart for God. And missionaries, we're gonna go back to an E and we're gonna put it on top of a flat hand and we're gonna kind of jiggle it. And I think this is like the real sign for Ecuador. So it's kind of like right in the middle and we're shaking it, I guess, to show that it's not just an E. So missionaries to Ecuador. So Jim and Elizabeth Elliott, missionaries to Ecuador. All right. Then we have the Antarctic Treaty. This one's really easy. We're just gonna go like this because it's cold in Antarctica. So. You got 2 apples and my 2 bananas for CC. Thank you. I'm gonna put them back over here, okay? Thanks so much. All right. So Antarctic Treaty, and then we're gonna make a V for the Vietnam War. There we go again. And then the best sign ever in all of the timeline is U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. So okay, you're gonna take your left hand, hold it up and down, and then we're gonna make an R. And this is gonna be a rocket, and it's gonna shoot off. Sorry, the table's shaking. I have a toddler climbing up in my lap. Hello, Olivia. Would you like to join us? Are you gonna show him your bunny?
Yeah.
Thank you. Can Bunny stay on for just a minute while I do our last sign, and then you can show him, okay? All right, let me do our last sign. All right, so straight hand, R for rocket. It's gonna blast off. So U.S. astronauts, and we're gonna do this sign like we did for modern period for individuals. So 1 astronaut, so astronaut, and then it's gonna make your fist, and you're going to walk on the moon. And they just kind of do it like this, but I feel like you should do it like you're bouncing, kind of like they do on the moon. So, U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. Oh, wait, sorry. U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. It's 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap for mankind. I always have to say that after. So, that is everything for week 22. 2 more weeks. Next week is your last week of timeline, and then you're gonna have the presidents, so be thinking about that. And what does Bunny want to tell them? What? Can Bunny tell them bye?
Yeah.
Have Bunny tell them bye.
Bye.
So see you next week. Bye, guys.